Intensive French is not new. It started in 1998 in Newfoundland. It was introduced to improve communication skills for core French students. It began as a research project undertaken by Joan Netton from Memorial University of Newfoundland and Claude Germain, Université du Québec à Montréal.
As a principal of a school that has the intensive French program in it, I'm often asked by parents who are concerned about the rate at which their children may or may not be picking up the language. In this program, as in all others, students learn at different rates and have different abilities.
After the intensive French program, students will continue with post-intensive French. This means that there are protective periods where students are going to still be working through thematic units, just different subjects, and the teacher will still be utilizing the neurolinguistic approach with the same teaching strategies. This allows the students to maintain and continue to develop their oral reading and writing abilities in the French language.
One of the questions that parents often ask us is, would their student suffer in their English language if they were doing French or intensive French? And there is no impact. In fact, learning a second language actually helps their English classes and their English literacy skills.
In intensive French, the focus is really on second language acquisition through projects.
It comes from a new approach to teaching French language. It comes from a neuralistic standpoint. It's authentic communication. Students engage in oral language, talk about everyday things, a lot of focus on conversation.
When students are finished the intensive French program, they're able to carry on conversations in French. The conversations will depend on their age and on their interest, but they can speak with spontaneity. Our students are also able to function in a French environment, and they also are capable of reading in French and writing paragraphs and writing short stories.
It's a bit like when you learn your mother tongue. You listen a lot, you talk, and when you make an error, you're corrected until you use the correct form. And that's what happens in class.
The question that I often get asked is, how is social studies and science covered? Well, we cover a lot of themes through project-based learning.
Students build an internal grammar that allows them to speak accurately and with fluency without having to translate first in their heads.
It happens quite often that parents ask me, what can I do if I don't know French? And what I tell them is that they can support their child by listening to their child read in French. They can encourage them to learn French. They can reinforce vocabulary words, and they can ask them questions on what they're learning.
Students have a lot of chance to use French in the community. At school, the language assistant help a lot with cultural francophone activities, and in the community, it's possible to participate in different cultural events in French.
The other thing about intensive French is that it is fun. So students actually work the language in a more of a realistic setting. There's a neurolinguistic approach which is strongly based on research, and this tends to be a very fun experience for students. They have a real life appreciation for the language, and it's a very positive experience for the students that are in it and my own children as well.